red pillar, red pillar. Scorpion King, red summer. The earth is lifting us, lifting us, this Leviticus. I got toes from Arizona, I got loads of marijuana. Manic gas scar, fishy tap man, not that fast car. Why they mad at NASCAR? Luminescent, surrounded by the light, lunar crescent. You would think that I was growing, thinker in the newer. You would think that I was knowing. Rocky Balboa, surrounded by so much water that you would think that I was Noah. They invoke it Stokely, built to see Coakley. Hopefully the coke boys leave the scene smoky, disturbing the peace, making noise in the hood. Had to work with the priest about the birds and the bees, making noise in the hood. Then they merged with the beast and they poison the hood. Then I started hanging out with the boys in the hood, playing toys in the hood. Yeah, my old boy, my old earth. She was furious, treated old boy like Doughboy. Blue was Ricky. Walked through the valleys of death, of alleys in them steps. Went text when our lives got looted quickly. Back streets where they blew the sticky. The ops pulled up, blew the blicky. Had my shooters with me, my computers with me. Hell Mary, yeah, they threw the 50. 3 shots went through the dicky. 3 religions got Buddha with me. Yeah, divine intervention, yeah, it's moving with me. And I'm out for dead presidents to represent me like I'm Scooter Libby. Look, I killed all my doppelgangers with a copper hanger. Dropped them off in Chicago in a box of bangers. And we open up these portals to these mere mortals. We let these citizens in. You would think that they addicted to the Ritalin. And Ralph Emerson told us that man was invisible. Ralph Lauren showed us that man was divisible. The American dream in this land, this is physical. Standing on stolen land in your lizard shoes. Land of the whimsical. Yeah, we are not the same. Niggas found you from a hashtag. Niggas found you in the trash bag. Niggas found you on a stash strap. The baby spittin', read you bedtime stories, bitch, I'm babysitting. Katie Griffin, yeah, baby Pippins. Mercedes drifting, my fingers, they were sticky. I turned down the pussy cause the swingers, they were 60. You in the eye of the public, you outspoken, you outspoken. You in the eye of the republic, you outwoken. And you acting South Oakland, you guys at Republic. Wanna get you published, take you out the crab barrel and ride you above it, beloved. Then snatch your covering and snatch your publishing and attach your other twin like huddling. Watch me for my sins and our other gins, more spins. Yeah, your strings are doubling. You got fiends out and doubling. And the teams and them covenants screaming your government. Found the genes and it's troubling. Influential to put the mask on like the influencer. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. All right. This is your host, Brother Red Pill. Before we get started, let me remind y'all on Juneteenth, which is in a few days. All right. A few days, a few weeks for that matter. Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky to be exact. We will be in the building with our good brother, Boyce Watkins, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Brother Sabir Bey, and Brother Ben X, alongside musical guest Styles P. All right, that's coming up. All right, so please be in the building for that. And I gotta pull up the flyer for Atlanta. We're gonna also be in the A celebrating Tupac's 50th birthday. So I'm gonna plug that in the middle of the show. But yeah, that's what it do, man. Peace to the family. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. Let's do the roll call. We're gonna do the roll call before we begin. All right. So shout out to everybody in the building. I see NC is in the building, North Cackalack in the building. Salute to North Carolina. Salute. Central Coast, California is here. All right. Salute to Central Coast, California. Okay. I don't know what exactly that is, but yeah, salute to Central Coast. I see ya. You dig? Who else do we have in the building? Who else is in the building? All right. We have Jersey in the building. Jersey. Salute to Jersey. We got Savannah in the building. We got Barlow, Vegas in the building. We got Buffalo in the building. All right. We got Baltimore, Southern Arizona, Arkansas, Michigan, VA to GA. I see you. VA in the building. Oakland, Perth, Australia. I see you. Killeen, Fort Hood, Texas. Clayton, North Carolina, Seaside. All right. Northwest, Georgia. Chicago representative. Savannah in the building. Boston in the building. I see everybody. I appreciate y'all. What's happening? How's everybody doing on this Thursday night? Oakland in the building. All right. Town business. I see you. Savannah, Georgia, 912. All right. Charleston, Atlanta, Hayru's in the building. KTL and the ATL. Vegas. Okay. What's happening? Look how many Charlottes is in the building. There's a lot of Charlottes, man. Y'all need to link up with each other. Greenwood, South Carolina. All right. Florida, Arkansas. That's right. Yeah, I do. Little Rock, Arkansas. They got them stones out there. You damn right. Knoxville, Tennessee. Fort Wayne, Indiana. You dig? Peace and love. Okay. So, now that we know that we are secure, we are in the building. The family is in the building. All right, Queen City, I see you. West Side Vegas, I see you. Where's my international peoples at? All right, where's the people across the pond and all that? Where's my African family and my brothers and sisters from the Caribbean? Tap in. Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Delaware. I see you, Delaware. What's popping? Salute to Delaware. All right. Oklahoma City. Okay. Oklahoma City. Yeah, I just had that anniversary for Black Wall Street and whatnot. You know what I mean? Buzz City, St. Louis. Said AMC, Rocket. Dang. It's still taking off. That's a lot of gains. That's a lot. If it's still taking off, I ain't even, that's a lot of gains, bro. Salute to all of my AMC holders. Get your bread. Get your motherfucking bread. What's good tonight, brother? Everything is good tonight. You know what I'm talking about? It's Third Eye Thursdays, we gonna chop it up. We gonna talk that talk. You know, there's a few things going on in the news and whatnot. Kansas City, Missouri. My brother, are we talking about the China man shooting a 6-year-old? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna cover that. That's been it's been going viral. First and foremost, before we even talk about that, I have to give a shout out to a group out of Detroit who they don't get highlighted enough. These brothers have been on the front line for a very long time. The brothers have been on the front lines for a very long time doing a lot of work that a lot of people, I haven't seen a lot of people match their work and whatnot. And I'm talking about New Era Detroit, the brother Zeke and the New Era Detroit. I'm talking about. Salute to them. I saw a video 2 days ago, and the brother Zeke pulled up on the father of the young man who got shot. And Zeke was like, we're going to hold it down. We're here for moral support, but we're also here
to raise an alarm to make sure that the shooter, who was an Asian man who was let out on $10,000 bail, right? He was like, we here to put the pressure on so they could bring his ass back to jail. We're going to put the pressure on the judge. We're going to put the pressure on the courts. We're going to make sure that whatever the fuck they was thinking, they're going to change what they were thinking, and they're going to revoke that man's bail and put him back behind bars. And that's exactly what happened today. I saw that they revoked the Asian's bail, and they, they made, they made the right decision. They made the right decision. Now, that's just part of the story, because hold on a minute. This is where accountability comes in, right? The mutton chops, funny. This is where accountability comes in. Um, we know that when it comes to the majority of people behind bars, we know who's behind bars. We know our people are the majority of prisoners in all states, all counties, you know, and mostly all provinces. You know what I mean? There's a few places where the majority is Europeans or Hispanics and whatnot, but for the most part, our people have made going to jail a career. You know what I'm talking about? So the fact that this Asian man is behind bars, and I've shared with you on many occasions my experiences behind bars, and I've also shared with you that I spent time on Rikers Island, and I've also been other places where security was deemed to be very high, right? I'm talking about captains, lieutenants, the riot gang and all of that, and shit still popped off. That never stopped anything from happening. Okay? I just want to make that clear. I've seen people in PC get touched, right? Protective custody. I seen people that was in protective custody get touched by another person in protective custody because that person basically got the kite to say put in the work. Cause if you don't put in the work, nigga, we gonna put in the work on you. So this is where camaraderie kicks in, right? And this is where you show the world that you're not gonna allow some crazy shit like a neighbor shooting a 6-year-old, right? And I feel that this goes across the border for black men to do it to black children. It doesn't matter what the race is. If you're out here shooting children, there has to be some type of repercussions outside of a motherfucking iron bracelet on your wrist and you gotta lay up and fight your case. No, that's for regular people with jaywalking tickets and regular crimes. They should be able to lay up and watch Housewives of Atlanta and smoke and eat their commissary. But for other people who violate, rapists, right? Molesters, anybody that hurts babies, they have to it has to be another form of justice. And behind the wall, they have their own form of justice that they hand out. You know what I'm talking about? They take shit in their own hands and they decide if they're gonna get you or not. So I'm just sitting back waiting to see, you know, I'm waiting to see the news report or the breaking news that somebody broke this nigga's face. You know? You know what I'm talking about? You as a CO and you pay, and that's what I'm saying. The COs, they pay the inmates. They give them phones. They give them bangers. They give them razors. When I was on Rikers Island, the COs was the niggas bringing the razors in on some occasions. You know what I mean? They was bringing in bangers. They was bringing in long shanks because a lot of the COs is from the hood, and that's the homies that's locked up. You had COs that's gangbangers on the low, and they infiltrated into the system to serve the people that was behind the bars that was in the gangs. So there's no reason whatsoever that homie. I mean, fuck a trial. We already know it. He shot the damn 6-year-old. We don't need a trial. We don't have to wait for that. It's like you niggas is becoming these fake ass law abiding LA law and order ass niggas. No, that's not what we do. So we don't do that to each other. There's a story in Alabama, a recurring tragedy with a rapper. What's his name? Honeycomb something. And he already lost his grandparents, right? Niggas spun the block, his ops. They spun the block and shot his grandparents' house up and blew up the oxygen tank and the shit burnt down, right? Now, they not content. They not content. They done spun the block and shot his mama house up 4 times, right? The mama, the grandparents, that was the mama's grandparents. And whoever his opposition is, yeah, Honeycomb Brazy. Whoever his ops are, whoever his enemies are, they like, fuck that. We putting in super pain. We gonna destroy we taking out his whole family. So they went and shot his mama's house up on 4 different occasions, my niggas. I'm talking about AKs and all of that through her windows. So the way that they carry on, the way niggas carry on with each other, right? The way the niggas carry on with each other, I have yet to see them carry that same type of animosity towards anybody else. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't co-sign whatever's happening to that man and his grandparents. That's heinous. That's some demonic shit right there. You dig what I'm saying? That's going too far. But the rules of engagement, war is war, my niggas. And I always tell people, you would fare better to avoid war than to step into that motherfucking puddle because you're gonna get wet. You know what I mean? You don't, you want to avoid that by all means necessary. War is not cute. It's not a rap song. It's not a motherfucking Hype Williams video. This shit has heavy implications on spirit and soul. You know what I'm talking about? Certain niggas can't even sleep at night based off of the fact that they've been in these street wars or they've been overseas fighting for Uncle Sam and whatnot, PTSD and all of that. But I'm saying all of that to say, man, what the fuck? Like, we have to draw the line. So think about it. The uptick in Asian crime against not just our people. There was a story where an Asian woman killed I think it was like a road rage accident. She done murked another a woman's child. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because think about it, they done passed the bill and whatnot to protect them, right? They passed the bill to protect the Asians, right? The hate crime bill that Joe Biden and whatnot, that shit ran right through legislation. So it's like, did the judge? Let me show you something. So I don't, let me just show you the craziness that's going on out here and why, our people need to get our shit together and we need to start. I mean, god damn it, I'm not even gonna be all preachy tonight and whatnot, but the writing is on the wall. We all grown and whatnot. We don't have to. I don't gotta tell no grown people what they need to be doing and whatnot. Niggas know. Okay. This is the context. This is the court hearing of the Asian who shot the 6-year-old boy. Listen to the motherfucking judge. Listen to what the judge is saying. First thing that stood out is she said that she doesn't have any. She says some crazy shit. She needs to be excused and she needs to be fucking derobed. Some of you Moors should put some paperwork out on her. Like, chase her ass off the bench. She's not even a fucking, like, she can't even work in this city no more. Like, for real. Listen to what she said. I can't really see the support for such a high surety bond. She can't see the support for such a high surety bond. Right. Think about it. He's charged with attempted murder. Okay. If anybody knows the cost of surety bonds for attempted murder, it starts at 50,000. I'm sorry. It starts at 50,000 and the shit could go up to 100 racks when you get an attempted murder. Don't get a fucking, if you get a murder one, you're looking at $1 million bail. And that's all across the border. I don't know where they at. But she said she was like, she doesn't see a reason for a high bail. Let's continue. This is the fuckery that we got to deal with. You know what I mean? People is out here playing God, and I could see the play. I could see it. I could smell it, yo. Look at this, and while you're listening to her, look at this crazy motherfucker, the Chinese dude. Look how he's blinking. All right, I'm gonna set the bond at $10,000 cash or surety. No 10%. $10,000 cash or surety, right? You could give up a fucking Rolex. You could give up your wedding ring. You could give up some ice, my nigga. You could give up a title to your Whippington, your car. It don't even have to. It could be a fucking Subaru. $10,000 surety and bond. What the fuck is niggas is blowing that on a section in the club? This nigga's throwing $10,000 in the strip club right now. No contact with Colby Daniel. I don't want him to live at the Candlewood address. So can we have a different mailing address for him if we have one?
Mr. Wynn, where do you want your mail?
Listen to this. They give out the whole address for his parents' house.
To go.
Can I go to my father's address, which is 5709 Cary Drive, Ypsilanti, 48197.
Why is he blinking like that? What the fuck is going on with him?
I can't really see the support for such a high surety bond.
She can't see the support for us. Man, if you don't stop playing with me, bro. So here's the follow-up. Man who allegedly shot 6-year-old back in custody after court increases his bail following community outcry, meaning that the community, right? The brothers out of Detroit, New Era Detroit, they were spearheading, right? They were spearheading the community outcry because they were boots on the ground and they were on social media, and there was other people who also, the hell? There was other people who also assisted in social media to get a lot of people to basically call the courts and all kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm like, is this where it's headed? Is because remember, when they had all of that fake ass Asian hate and whatnot that you niggas was capping for, right? And I was like, that's propaganda. You know what I'm talking about? That's propaganda. You know, I don't know where that shit come from, but you know that might be agents and whatnot. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Like that's propaganda. And to be honest with you, you know, you niggas to talk to Donald Trump about some shit because he kind of like he was fanning those flames. So I'm like, when the Asian hate thing was popping, they was like, oh, the Asians are arming themselves. Because, what else do you do in America when you feel threatened by knuckle draggers and niggas and whatnot? You go arm yourself to the teeth. That's what the Orthodox Jews did when they had hate in New York. They started arming themselves. These is fake ass, they not even violent like that allegedly, but they went and got strapped up. You know what I'm talking about? They went and got strapped up. Now the Asians are strapped up. So I didn't hear any Asians make any noise about this, right? They didn't make no noise about this. They didn't raise no ruckus about this. Now if a black man shot an Asian child, nigga, Al Sharpton would be on TV answering for this nigga. Van Jones will be crying. You know what I'm talking about? Benjamin Crump would be crumping. You know what I'm talking about? Like they would be all kind of outcry. Michael Jordan would have probably put a statement out and be like, "We want to trade this nigga, and we don't." He would have disowned him. Like there would have been so much people. Charlemagne, Leonard would have gave him the fucking donkey of the day. Like everybody would have put their motherfucking 2 cents in. You know what I mean? Everybody would have butted their nose in on that black man's business, and they would have been very vocal and try to distance themselves because you already know the mentality of subservient black niggas. They get along, go along gang. They just want to clear their consciousness. So when they sit at the feet of these crackers and whatnot, they don't feel no type of they don't have no while they out here begging and fucking touching their toes and whatnot, they want to clear their conscience. You know what I mean? Yeah, Amanda Seals would have blamed all black men. The shit would have been a fucking zoo, right? So where's Young Jeezy's wife? You know what I'm talking about? Where's China Mac? Where's the Asian community denouncing this dude and basically throwing him to the wolves? Crickets. To be honest with you, the story didn't even break mainstream media. This was a social media story, and black media picked that shit up. You know what I'm talking about? That was the social media. It didn't really break national headlines until I think today or yesterday a little bit. But when it first broke, they was keeping that shit under motherfucking wraps. Somebody said that they on code. You damn right they on code. You damn right that they on code. I'm not an advocate for no type of animosity towards other races of people. Like I say, I'm a humanitarian. You know what I'm talking about? I'm a cosmopolitan type of person. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm calling for this nigga's head. You know what I'm talking about? Something got to give. Examples have to be made. You can't go around shooting no damn 6-year-old. And to be honest with you, like I remember in Chicago, they killed the little 7-year-old in a McDonald's. They were shooting at her dad. Somebody needs to take their heads too. Like this shit cannot go unevent. Like we can't just be allowing shit like this to happen in 2021. If you can't protect the fucking babies, nigga, you might as well just hop in the grave and cover yourself in dirt, man. You're done. You know what I'm talking about? What do you have to live for? You're done. Like, tuck your tail. It's a fucking wrap, bro. If you can't protect the babies, what the fuck? What do you have to offer? We got to make an example. Somebody has to learn you can't fuck with our people like this. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. There needs to be some type of organization where niggas get organized and start taking this shit seriously and, you know, and stretch the imagination. Because the cycle that's going on, we spent last show talking about the drill scene. We spent last show talking when Little Dirk's brother got his fucking head blown off in front of the club and whatnot. Do you know that these niggas shot the police trying to get to him? They shot the police in Chicago trying to get to this nigga's brother. The popo got shot first, then they shot the nigga in the head. You know? They never showed the bullet wound on the kid. And what does that mean? 2-year-old in Miami got killed. Like, so it's not the Asian, you know what I mean? For any Asians watching and thinking it a nigga's out here trying to bang chopsticks on the Asians. No, it's not that. It's just low life motherfuckers of all shades, nationalities, and backgrounds. Demons. Niggas is on demon time. You know what I mean? It's out here violating innocent babies. You know? The shooters are not loyal. The block spinners, they're not loyal. They're one trick ponies. They don't work for anything other than their self interest and their fucking face tats. You know what I mean? They're non effective. They are more of a fucking problem than a solution. They don't function like men of years of decades ago, the Bumpy Johnson types, nigga Elmsworth. They don't move like that. They don't move like Bunchy Carter, and they don't move like the Panthers. They don't move like the BGA or the BGF. They don't move like that. These niggas is enemies of their own selves. You know? The agent said he was protected. Is that right? Is that right? You said you beg to differ. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Keyword beg. Keyword beg. You know, he's not protected. You know what I'm talking about? Don't fall for the bullshit. He's not protected until niggas try him. Then you'll know if he's protected or not. You niggas is letting people bluff you. He's not protected. Nobody tried him yet. So how you know if he protected or not? You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, there's all kind of justice that goes on behind the wall and whatnot. So he should get, you know what I mean? Like they should put him on trial behind the wall. That's not far-fetched. That's not far-fetched. He could be seen. He could get touched. Anybody could get touched. That's my mind state. Anybody could get touched. Nobody's untouchable. Fuck out of here. It's just niggas is scared to touch niggas. You know? I wish, man, I'm not even gonna bring it out. I'm not even gonna say it, bro. I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah. He would have met his I seen a video with his dad and whatnot. His dad is, he don't look angry enough. He don't look angry enough. He was a little nonchalant. He was talking to Zeke and whatnot from New Era Detroit. He was a little nonchalant. I'm like, nigga, you need to go eat some fucking meat or something and get some, some bloodlust, my nigga. Like, I don't see it in you. You know? The Asian community, those who are card carrying members and they're um masquerading in the culture. We need to have a talk with them. You know what I'm talking about? We need to have a talk with them. The Asians that are in our culture, the ones in California, all of the Filipino niggas that's behind those clothing brands, the Chinese kids in New York, the nigga Boogie and all of that, the shit that remember the basketball movie with Pop Smoke, Boogie, like all of those Asians that are hip hop. We need to have a talk with them because we need them to be the liaisons to go back to their people and squash this shit and put this shit in put the motherfucking put that in a box, because I promise you the implications of this whole Asian thing, it has far reaching implications. China's a fucking superpower. You know what I mean? China's a superpower. It's a communist country, it's a superpower, and they have tentacles everywhere. Everywhere. And if that superpower were to ever get into any type of power to whereas they were able to pull a motherfucking strings in America, or if they were able to pull strings, they're pulling strings in Africa, they're pulling strings in the Caribbean, they're pulling strings in a lot of places where our people domicile. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? These are not reasonable people. These are not reasonable people and whatnot. They shit on their own kind. You see how they talk about black on black? What about Asian on Asian? What about what the Chinese is doing to the Chinese? What about what the Chinese did to the Japanese? What about what the fucking Japanese did to the Koreans? They not easy on each other. So you think they're gonna be easy on us? There's a video going around where the age there was an Asian in Africa and he tried to put hands and feet on the Africans. And the Africans had to whoop on him. Over there, acting like colonizers. The whole energy was colonizer energy. Promise you. Let me pull the video up to show you. You know? Shit crazy. So now his bail is 100 racks, allegedly. Right? Let me show you the video. We're just gonna do some investigative reporting tonight and just show some things. Here you go.
What led up to this when the judge let him out on $10,000 bail? What was the argument to support that? Because it just seems so crazy, for people who are just kind of casually observing this. Because it seems like it's an attempted murder, right?
Right, and let me be clear on this. Given what happened, we have charged the defendant in this case with the most serious charges that are available on these facts. Those felony charges carry a sentence of up to life in prison, which is the most serious penalty that we have in Michigan. Now, as to the initial bond decision by the magistrate, I'm not going to purport to speak for any other actor in the legal system, except to say that our recommendation initially was for a bond that was 10 times higher, was for additional restrictions to be put into place. And we made use of our legal avenues when we disagree with a judge's decision. We filed an emergency motion as soon as we got that decision with the court, which I argued today, and thankfully the bond was modified and the defendant is in custody as we speak.
How did you turn that around in court today? What argument did you make that won the day?
I just emphasized what the facts of this case show. This is a man who shot out of his window at a group of children playing on the sidewalk in front of his house. It hit a 6-year-old child. We are really, really thankful, and this is by far the most important thing, that little boy is not more seriously hurt. He's doing okay, although, look, the trauma is going to, of course, stick with him for his entire life. But a couple of inches to the left, to the right, he could have been killed. I just emphasized that and emphasized the public safety risk, and we're grateful that the court saw fit first to act quickly on this, to schedule our emergency hearing on an expedited basis, and then ultimately to grant our motion and to have the defendant remanded into custody.
Bomba clock. Somebody said they can't hear it.
And 6 heavy-duty machines for galamsey duties.
Hold on, let me pull up this video.
We are the China boy. Plum clock, you are the China boy. Blood clot claim, we can't track them boy away already. What the fuck you do? Blood clot claim, and hold him, blood clot. Humble clot. Now kill him, now blood clot kill him. Let him. Suck your mother, so we kick down boy. Suck your mother, China boy. A bad man. Suck your mother. And talk. We are the China boy. We are the China boy. Plum clock, you are the China boy. Hold him, blood clot claim, we can't track them boy away already. What the fuck you do? Blood clot kill him, and hold him, blood clot. Humble clot.
The Africans got their kung fu right.
Blood clot kill him. Let him go. Suck your mother, so we kick down boy. Suck your mother, China boy. A bad man. Suck.
Yeah, bad man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you couldn't hear the video? You couldn't hear the video? So, I don't know what's going on, but there needs to be some type of emergency meeting because this shit is beginning to look like it's about to get ugly. I mean, like the Chinese is kind of out of control. You dig? Oh, you couldn't hear it? I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I mean, it was very loud on my end, so I'm not sure what that's about. But you get the gist of what's going on. Like the video was showing an Asian contractor in Africa, and he was acting up, and he got his ass handed to him. The Africans popped off. The Africans popped off. They tired of being treated like these people is coming in like colonizers. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm sure that they're tired of it. But they can't, what can they do at this point? What can they do? They done signed all of these contracts with China. They done let them people up in their motherfucking countries and whatnot. What can they do? They can't do anything. If China get on their imperialistic shit, it's gonna get ugly, bro. If China get on their imperialistic shit, if they get on their Genghis Khan march, it's gonna be ugly. Because they have the ability to crush some shit, bro. Let's just keep it a buck. And then we also have to talk about this whole corona thing. Who's responsible? Who's responsible? Who leaked the motherfucker? Who weaponized this bio warfare or this biogenetic motherfucking strain? Who was behind it? And if it was China, who's gonna answer? And if it was China, what you gonna do about it? If it comes to find out China was behind it, what you gonna do? You gonna wait for whole Biden and Kamala to fucking put out some sanctions and whatnot? Niggas is gonna do all of that. You know? China is liberal. No, China is communist. It's a capitalistic communist country. What are you talking about? You know? You said Trump told you already? Yeah, well, Stephen Bannon told you, and Trump was echoing his sentiments. That was really Stephen Bannon who came forward and was against China and was like China's is the number one threat, and that's when he was the advisor to Donald Trump. He was the one that blew the horn. Okay, it was Stephen Bannon, and Trump ran with that narrative. But that's Stephen Bannon. That's all Stephen Bannon. Stephen Bannon was able to bring the motherfucking. He brought the receipts, and then the trade war started. And then later on down the line, you get Wuhan and whatnot. By that time, Stephen Bannon was out of the White House, and then Trump was running with the China flu and all of that. But he got his battery from Stephen Bannon. I remember doing the research all the way back then when the shit first started. I was on top of Stephen Bannon. Pause. Woo. I was researching. I was, doing a lot of research on Stephen Bannon, his whole cabinet and whatnot. And Stephen Bannon really stood out because of he's the Svengali. He's like the Yoda of this shit. You know what I mean? Like he was the brains behind a lot of things, a lot of policies. He's a hardliner. He's a warmonger as well. So, but he's also he's not a dummy. He's not a dummy. So, that was a lot of Stephen Bannon's work, you know. So, we just have to keep our third eyes open and pay attention, you know. We have to pay attention. Um and then, you still got to do business with them. You know what I mean? You still, you don't have to. You don't have to do business with them, but theoretically, these are the ones that you do business with. You know what I'm talking about? They're not the middleman. The middleman is the European. They're the plug. You feel me? They're the plug. They're the ones they're the manufacturers. They're the ones that are turning out shit for the Lolo. You know what I mean? That's them. That's the Chinaman. We were supposed to go over to China, me and Blue, before the whole Wuhan shit kicked off to do business. But I don't know about that right now. You know what I mean? I don't really know about that. Not feeling their energy at all. So We must learn how to build spaceships. Is that right? Okay. Where are we gonna learn how to build spaceships? Online? Where are we gonna prototype it? And you know, where are we gonna get the material and all of that from? Niggas can't even get a building these days. So I don't know. Like, what, you tell me. You tell me. It sounds good, and I don't doubt that we can do it because we could do what we put our minds to. But I would love for you to tell me. You said Long Island, okay? The Montauk. Mhm. They die in the most gruesome ways in China and Indonesia, pushing that manufacturing. Yeah, shit, crazy. They commit suicide. They be jumping off of them buildings, making them damn iPhones for niggas at Foxconn. You know, the air is polluted like a mug. Shit, crazy. But my brothers and sisters in Africa, and my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, like Jamaica and whatnot, where the Chinese have their teeth sunk deep in the neck of your country and they're sucking you dry. Just man, keep your eyes on the prize. Like, don't get rocked to sleep, and don't be chasing that motherfucking dragon or that dollar bill and miss out on what's going on all around you while these people are basically spinning you. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be ugly in a few years. Because then people want water, they want agriculture, they want real estate. They over here in America snatching up mad shit. You know what I mean? Spying on all kind of shit, hacking all kind of systems and whatnot, stealing the motherfucking heirloom seeds, and they doing crazy shit. You know what I'm talking about? They doing craziness. So, you know, I would in a perfect world, in a perfect world, you know, African Americans or what they call ADOS, in a perfect world, the skills, the brothers and sisters over here with the trades and the skills, and some of the expendable income that the athletes and the entrepreneurs and the rappers and shit like that. Like, to be honest with you, in a perfect world, they would be the ones who would be able to replace a superpower like China on the continent to help build with infrastructure and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But that's going to be about 20 to 30 years from now because it's going to take so much for niggas to get their shit together and to work as a unit and to be investors and shit like that because that's not on the culture doesn't support it, the music doesn't support it. There's no movies that are pushing niggas in that direction. There's no best-selling books that are really pointing to that direction. None of your fake leaders and whatnot is having these conversations. They don't talk like that. So how the fuck do you think that black people are just gonna automatically snap out of basketball wives and motherfucking love and hip hop mentality and switch up to some bullshit like that? I mean, I'm well wishing and whatnot, but we're a long way from doing shit like that. We're a long way from doing some shit like that, bro. You know? So, you know, Vietnam is good. Well, I heard Vietnam is good for manufacturing and other things. That's like that's a what you call it. That is that's an option over there. Besides, instead of going to China, I know people that's rerouting and they're going to Vietnam to do business and shit like that, and they've come back and said that it's a little less they don't deal with the same type of shit that they deal with China. That's what I've heard. You know. Have I seen a preview for the movie Infinite with Mark Wahlberg? I don't think I did. I don't think that I did. Vietnam is very poor. I mean, yeah, look, they still recovering from that goddamn Vietnamese war, right? But they got manufacturing. And the thing is, you got to remember the key to manufacturing is that you have to be in a poor ass nation, because the key to manufacturing is the fucking sweatshops and to get shit for the low. You can't have manufacturing in America because you got unions and motherfuckers want minimum wage. You know what I'm talking about? So with minimum wage, how you gonna compete with China when they making all of this stuff and they're selling it by the penny and whatnot? That's how they benefit. The best thing that you could do is develop manufacturing in Africa. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? That's the best thing that we could do as a people, is to take the model that China has with manufacturing and replicate that in Africa, where it's where the dollar is what I mean, has power and whatnot, and we could pay the people higher than what the fuck they're getting now. They got these motherfuckers in diamond mines, coltan mines, and all kind of shit getting $2 a week. You know what I'm talking about? Hunter Biden calling his lawyer nigga. That's crackhead talk. You ever been around white crackheads? That's crackhead talk. That's all that is. That's dope fiend talk. I wasn't surprised by that. Yeah, a white person get on dope, they start calling each other niggas. Vietnam is the fastest growing economy in Asia. Thank you. Thank you. They make iPhones for a dub. You know what I'm talking about? When I read the emails, I was like, oh, that's some dope fiend shit right there. That's all that is. The niggas start smoking crack, they think they black. Or everyone's a nigga. You know? African population boom this century. Big time. Big time. The thing is, Africa has to become manufacturers. You know what I mean? Like, they would fare better if they would get into manufacturing. They should compete with China. They have the manpower. They got the workforce. You feel me? They just have to build the factories, and they have the fucking resources. They got the natural resources. Like, why aren't they doing that? I would buy some shit that said made in Africa before I bought made in China. Once again, if black people in America had their shit together, that's something that we would be able to go over there and do, because we got credit. We have access to resources. We could build out factories. We could get, quote unquote, we could shop with Alipay or Alibaba. Our people collectively would be able to do some things like that, I feel. You know? So who was able to tap in to the eclipse this morning? Do you know that there was a solar eclipse that took place today? This morning? I was able to I stayed up. I was able to break day. It came in at 5 a.m. You know, I decided not to stare into the eclipse. I was staring into my son's eyes. You know what I mean? Because when I did the knowledge, it was like solar eclipse, the sun. So I'm like, shit, I got my son right here. You know what I mean? That's my son. You know what I mean? So I stared into his eyes and, I was on 5 grams of some shrooms, you know what I mean? And I was allowing the medicine to do what it do. You know what I mean? To open up my mind and to take me certain places. Um the power of the eclipse is still here. It's gonna be here for a few days. This is a great time for manifestation. This is a great time to, let go of some things. This is a great time to go within, you know what I mean? Take that trip within, you know, and do some inner work, some shadow work, some healing, some programming, shit like that, you know? Shit like that. So, we're in a great time. We have the summer solstice coming up on the 20th. So from the 10th to the 20th, I know a few people that said that they're going to fast. You know what I mean? They're going to fast from the 10th to the 20th. So by the time they hit the summer solstice, they'll be rid of certain parasites. They'll be rid of certain stress. Because man, yo, bruh, 2021, I told y'all, 21 Savage, my nigga. The energy on this planet has been very fucking heavy since the beginning of this calendar year. Depression like a motherfucker. Anxiety like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Uh People just being in limbo, my nigga. People just being in complete limbo. This whole thing with the vaccination, with the spike protein and all of this crazy shit, mandatory face diapers, all of this crazy shit. This has not been an easy year, bro. This has not been an easy year. Somebody said you're married and coming at 5. That's amazing. I was in a house. What are you talking about? Coming where? I was in my house all night. What do you mean? I'm not outside like that. I don't be in the streets. I'm a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? I don't be outside like that. There's nothing really outside for me. The only thing that's outside is the sun and the moon, you know? So I'm like, yeah, since December 21st, it's been a shift. Like I felt the shift. I went through the shift. I was on a roller coaster ride all fucking for 6 months. Like I've been on a roller coaster ride of emotions and feelings, anxiety, depression, all kind of stuff. Is real. Like the energy is real, bro. So to be honest with you, like if people been noticing this whole, like since the year started, I've really just been laid back. You know what I mean? I ain't really been out there like that. I don't want to be in nobody's face. I don't want to be running around. It's that's for the people that's doing that, you know, more power to you. I'm not here to judge nobody. You know what I mean? Everybody marches to their own drum. But it's just been a long time. I've been reflecting on a lot. I just been doing a lot of inner work. Stop smoking the GMO. I don't really even smoke trees like that, to be honest with you. I promise you. I rock with the shrooms. I don't really fuck with the trees like that. You know what I mean? Those 800 different strains that they got out here in the streets of that Zaza, you know, I don't get it fucked up. Like I'll burn it down occasionally, but I don't smoke the way that I used to, you know. Get into your shamanism. Yeah, that's what the fuck. Yeah. That's what I'm getting into. That's what I'm getting into. That's my, that's the route that I've been taking. Doing a lot of inner work, a lot of shaman, a lot of shadow work, you know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, before I do any type of shamanistic work, I got to get right. You know what I mean? I would never attempt to, grab anybody's hand and try to be someone's guide and whatnot. And I'm not all the way right. I got to get me right. You know what I mean? Like that's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. You know, there's all kind of charlatans running around in New York, in Atlanta, in Cali. And you know, spirituality is a fucking fad right now. All of this online, everybody's a fucking shaman, everybody's a witch. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's a guru. You go on Clubhouse, everybody's, you know what I mean? Everyone's galactical. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And people coming out of nowhere. Everybody's Dr. Sabi's apprentice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Something got to give. Like, where are these people coming from? You know what I'm talking about? Where did you study? Who's your master teacher? Like, where did you cut your teeth, my nigga? Like, where'd you know, I'm just wondering. So, you know, the field is like it's the field is somewhere. That field that's out there right now, I'm totally not impressed. So when I'm not impressed by something, I just remove myself from it and I just watch. I'm an observe. I love to observe because by observing, I'm able to decipher things a lot better than being inside of it. You know what I mean? When you're in the motherfucking fishbowl, you know you don't even know if the water is dirty or not. Yeah, they got rent a shaman, my nigga. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of rent a shamans. You know, ask a ninja. You know what I mean? These niggas is out here ask a ninja and whatnot. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all be careful. You know what I mean? Niggas is out here spending people. Y'all be careful. You know, that's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? Y'all be careful. You utilize the art of discernment and please activate your third eye because a lot of shit that you think you seeing, it's not what it is, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It's not what it is, man. It's not what it is. You know, the devil come dressed up real nice. You know what I mean? The devil is dripping. You know, and when I say the devil, I mean the evils, nigga. I mean demons. I mean real demon time. I mean motherfuckers who will pull back their mask and show you their motherfucking fangs. Like, be careful. Be careful. You know what I mean? That's the whole trick with this community. You know what I mean? What you think is sugar could turn out to be shit. And that's something that you have to discover. It's not on me to show you anything and point out anything because you wouldn't believe me if I told you. You're going to have to find out the hard way. You know what I mean? Stop chasing these motherfucking dreams. Stop chasing waterfalls. You know what I mean? Focus on, for the niggas that's out here following grown men and women like they your daddy or something, you know, some of y'all are going to learn the hard way. Some of you are going to learn the hard way. This shit is not gang that, you know, to be honest with you, and I don't like comparing things, but I'm more comfortable, you know, like the little niggas that's out here claiming gang, they got a lot more camaraderie and they have a lot more loyalty to each other than a lot of these groups that are out here. Because to be honest with you, they go through rituals and they go through quote unquote rites of passage to prove their loyalty to each other. How the fuck do you come into this community and nobody has to prove their loyalty? Nobody has to do, they're not shedding no blood. They're not doing anything. They're not showing no type of loyalty. They just say Hotep. And you think that that's your man's in them? You think niggas care about you? All right, no problem. Go ahead. You know what I'm talking about? Go swimming with them. You know, go swimming. You know, go jump off the bridge with them then. You know what I mean? And you'll find out if you could fly or not. You're gonna have to find out on your own though. Gangs mirror the tribal ants. Yeah, the gangs. What the fuck? Gangs, nigga. We've always been tribal. We've always been tribal. What the fuck? What do you think a confederacy is? That's a set, my nigga. That was a whole bunch of sets that came together. That's the confederacy. We've always been tribal. We had tribal wars in Africa. Niggas is in LA having tribal wars. Niggas is in Brooklyn having tribal wars. It's just a different name right now. They're in Chicago having tribal wars. We are tribal people. But like I said, if you belong to a tribe, you should have a rites of passage to show something that tribe is really riding for you. I have more respect for some of these younger dudes that are out here like, yo, if you hurt my homie, I'm going all out. I'll put my life on the line to revenge that person. I mean, to be honest with you, that's admirable. In this type of world where you know, some of us are born, we don't have brothers. Some of us are born, we don't have uncles and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'm privileged to have a twin brother and brothers and people around me. But some people don't have that. So what the fuck? What can you tell them? How could they click up with a brotherhood? You know what I'm talking about? What how could they find some type of protection? How could they find some type of camaraderie amongst people who they've been in the sandbox with? You know what I mean? Like, we be judging a lot of people and whatnot, but I understand it. I don't At the end of the day, I don't advocate all the way. I don't advocate young these gangs that are out here killing each other and terrorizing communities and shit like that. I feel that their energy is completely displaced and they've been bamboozled and hoodwinked and they've been infiltrated. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Monster Cody and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Rest in peace to Monster Cody. When you read the book that Monster Cody wrote, he laid it down how the Crips and Bloods were infiltrated and shit like that. Rest in peace to Little Dirk's brother and whatnot who got shot, who got killed last week. You know what I mean? Like, when you do the knowledge on Chicago with Jeff Fort and Larry Hoover and what they were on and whatnot and how that shit got spun out of control, you understand that there's infiltration on the highest levels. COINTELPRO, you know what I mean? The government, these snitches, these motherfucking informants. Like, there's a lot of things that have taken place to take street organizations who had the ability to be political organizations, right? Social movements and whatnot. You know what I mean? Community revolutionaries in progress. And they flipped that shit and they devolved it. You know what I mean? They demoted that shit. And now these niggas is out here knuckle dragging. You feel me? But the foundation of what they represent, a brotherhood, the foundation of what they represent, a sisterhood, the foundation of what they represent, a fraternal order, my nigga, oath takers. I mean, I respect that. You know, I respect that. I like teamwork because teamwork makes the dream work. So people will turn their nose up on a game, but you niggas is watching basketball. You jocking the motherfucking Lakers and whatnot. You jocking the Clippers. That's a group of men who are playing as a team. There's a hierarchy. There's a captain. On a football team, there's a captain. These niggas is running backs and whatnot. Everybody plays their position. The offense is not on the field when the motherfucking defense is on the field. There's some type of what? There's some type of order, right? Order brings organization. Organizations have to be orderly and whatnot. There's discipline. You got to come to training. You got to make it to the gym. You got to be on a bus or the plane with us when we go into the game. You niggas is just not pulling up saying, "Oh, I'll get there when I get there." You have to be on time and whatnot. We find that admirable in sports. You know what I mean? Then you have people who have been in the armed forces. You went overseas for Uncle Sam and you was laying shit down for your government and whatnot. And then you came back home and you was still a nigga, but you don't respect the gangs in the hood and whatnot. But nigga, you in the gang. You was in the gang. You was spinning the block. You was in Afghanistan spinning the block. And you was killing babies. And you was killing women. Niggas was in Vietnam, Korea, World War, niggas grandfathers and them stories that your old folks told you. You know what I mean? Oh man, I was in Germany killing all of them people. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard the stories. You was overseas with a motherfucking fatigue on, with the promise that you was gonna get a goddamn Dodge Challenger and some fucking college credits, and you was spinning the block in a tank, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You was bodying shit. You didn't care. But then you want to judge what's going on in the hood, and you don't think that you have a part to play with that. You don't think that because the children, what do they say? The sins of the father fall on the heads of the child. So the generation after Vietnam was cursed. Bastards of the party. The generation that came out of the motherfucking loins of the Vietnam veterans, them niggas was crazy and they was cursed. That's the generation that's in jail. That's the generation that sold crack, became crackheads, dope fiends, killers. You know what I mean? But they became bodies. They became first 48s. That's that generation. Because the parents was dope fiends. They came back hooked on drugs. Some of them came back and their minds was crazy. They was up there killing all of these people and whatnot. You feel me? Then they come home and they kill they killing all of the leaders and whatnot. And then, these niggas either became revolutionaries or dope fiends or dope dealers or pimps. You saw dead presidents. You saw how they laid that out. You know what I mean? That's not completely far fetched. Shit like that was happening. You know? So the gangs that originally started out to protect the neighborhood, right? When my father was younger, he lived in the Bronx. He said we had street organizations because the Italians was whooping our asses across the bridge. He lived in Throgs Neck. He was like the Italians would chase them home and they was whooping on them. So they had to form some type of motherfucking camaraderie. They had to form some type of protection in order for them to move. When I went to Rikers Island, the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans had the Nietas and the Latin Kings, and they was whooping on niggas and they was cutting niggas. Out of that, the Bloods formed in New York City penitentiaries and whatnot, and it spilled out into the streets. And now it is at a devolved place where the street organizations, that shit spread. It's a fucking cancer, but it started out for the necessities for black men to protect themselves in their community. You know what I mean? Like, this is not far fetched. This is not this is not as irresponsible as people try to paint it and whatnot. You know what I mean? Things are created out of necessity, but when that necessity is compromised, you have what is known as devolution, the devolving of the necessity or the devolving of the original plan. And when our people get to devolving, like hip hop started out as one frequency and it devolved into the deaf culture. So you see the remnants of it right now, and you see the heaviness of the negativity of what it represents. You know what I mean? The upside of it, it's in plain view. It's a deaf culture, but it didn't start out like a deaf culture. But it's been compromised. You know, he surely did use. Look, the Monster Cody's book was everywhere that I was at when I was going through my little when I was going through my underworld days and whatnot. When I was in my underworld phase, I used to see that book everywhere. Monster Cody's book was everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? Tukey Williams. You know, people used to ride for Tukey Williams, and they was Geronimo Pratt. You know, there's a thin line between those old school militants and the gangbangers, of the generation after them. So when we begin to understand these things, we can approach it differently. And I feel that something could be fixed or salvaged for that matter, or a new iteration could be born out of this old funky ass, what I mean, defunct fucking culture that we're in. You know what I mean? This shit is like a revolving nightmare. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 20 and whatnot. It's just a constant uh, you know, hamster wheel of trauma, of pain, of PTSD. It's all kind of shit that's coming out of this. So something good, something has to be born out of this. You know what I mean? Something has to be born out of this. Remember, things grow. Shit fertilizes. You know what I mean? Things grow out of shit. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was jealous of Tukey. Yeah, got him killed. He could have granted him some clemency, but he didn't. Because Tukey was in the gym Tukey was in the gym making that nigga look lesser than. So when he was the governor and he had his chance, he made sure to put Tukey to death. You know? We gotta stop hating each other. Yeah, you know. My question will be to you, right? Do you think that we need to hate somebody else in order to stop hating each other? Because hate is something that this is it's a prevalent energy on this planet, right? The cat hates the motherfucking dog. The rat hates the cat. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of antagonistic, protagonistic energy that exists, the dualistic nature of things on this planet. So the fact that we're so, you know, loving to everybody else, you know what I mean? Does that leave us to hate each other? Like, do we have to direct our hate to another people? Yeah, do we have to transfer our hate? You know what I mean? Because I won't get on this show and act like niggas could just erase hate out of their blood. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. You know, even though hate is extremely low frequency, and I'm not an advocate for hate because hate kills. Hate kills. Hate fucks up your organs. Hate gives you wrinkles. Hate makes you look older. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to bed with hate on your heart because that shit is one of the most heaviest energies on the planet. So my thing is, if we would learn to love, I think that we can eradicate the hate energy altogether. You know what I mean? I do think that we can eradicate the hate energy. And somebody would be like, well, if we get rid of hate, how can we protect ourselves against people that hate us? I would say with love. I've said it before. Love has won more wars than hate has. Love has won more wars than hate has. Because if your enemy is on a battlefield and they have a hatred for you, but if you have a love for life and you have a love for your nation and your family, and you have so much love in your heart that you know that nothing is going to stop you from not getting back to your loved ones, you could defeat hate. You know, you could defeat it. So somebody said that they hated their exes. Like I said, I will warn you, fam, because at the end of the day, you're going to sleep with the hatred, and your exes might not necessarily be going to sleep with that hatred. So my question to you would be, who at the end of the day, who's benefiting off of that hatred, right? Like you got to go to sleep with that on. You got to you wake up and you go to sleep with it. They don't necessarily. They don't. You know what I mean? Like they might be out there loving themselves or being loved on, or in a new situation, and they don't have no hate in their heart. And then if you got the hate, you stuck with the bag. That's still heaviness that you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So who does that benefit at the end of the day? It's not beneficial. You know, I'm just sharing some game that was taught to me because I had a situation where I was carrying hate against a human being and whatnot, and it had to be explained to me like, bro, that's compromising your health. And I was like, what you mean? You know what I mean? And it was like, nah, that's you gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. You gotta forgive. You gotta let that go. And I couldn't let it go, but I was able to transmute the energy because I was able to discover something that I loved. You know? Didn't white people benefit from hating other groups? All right. This is the thing. When I did the research, white people began to benefit after they came together underneath Christendom. And when they locked arms, and when the nations came together under Christendom, right? There was a certain type of love, right, for Christendom. There was a certain type of love for an identity that they never had before that they began to develop, right? And they utilized that to move forward and to conquer and to crush things and whatnot. So is it love or is it hate? Right? They got you to hate yourself. You know what I'm talking about? They got you to hate yourself. You know what I mean? There's more signs of people, our people exemplifying more self-hate than I see in other races. So how did they get us to hate ourselves and how we look and how, we don't want to wear our hair. We don't want to be ourselves. We don't want to practice our culture. We trying to be like them. We trying to be Europeanized. We want to be Roman antics. So it is that hate, the love of money, the love of power, the love of bloodshed, because they have a love to shed blood. They have a bloodlust. They have a love to conquer. They remember the woman is the booty of war. They have a love for piracy. They have a love for conquering women and raping them and whatnot. They have a love for pillaging shit. They have a love for burning and lynching and hanging people. They love that shit. They're warmongers, so they have a love for war. That might go over your head. You know? That might go over your head. They made you love their deities. Well, yeah, it's a lust. Thank you. I appreciate that, Moon Rocker. It's definitely more of a lust. They got you loving a god in their image. Is that hate? And that caused self-hatred within our people. They have us loving something that's not our people, that's not of us. It was something that they created. It was an image that they created, and they have us worshiping that, and they're able to benefit off of that. And then as a result of that, because the shit is so backwards, our people have created a virus within their own selves where self-hatred is now perpetuating itself at a very fast rate, and they still benefit off of that. So you got to ask yourself, yeah, skin bleaching. There's a fetish that they have for our people. It's not a love, it's a fetish. It's a lust for your melanin. They want to eat your. They want to eat. They they want to, delectable Negroes. They want to eat you. skin bleaching. Malcolm X said that your oppressor will make you hate yourself, right? Did I ever beat up somebody because they sucked or was just too lame? Nah, not me. Mm-mm. Me personally, no. I've seen it happen to certain people, but I've never really done that. You know, see it on World Star. Fake eyelashes. You know, that's why the movement that has taken hold over the past few years of black people getting back into loving themselves and finding out who they truly are versus who they were lied to. That is the evolution. That's the shift. That's the shit that's helping to change the motherfucking course. Black women, black men loving themselves for who they truly are, right? Loving themselves for what they've been given naturally, right? Loving their ancestors, embracing their history, digging it up out of a shallow grave and claiming it. You know what I mean? That's love, right? There's a love movement that's taking place on this planet right alongside the hate movement. You know what I mean? Right alongside the hate movement. You might not even realize it if you don't pay attention. The babies are born, these new crystals and these new indigos and these star seeds, they're born with love in their heart. You feel me? There's a lot of love. There's people that are forgiving themselves for, the trauma that they've gone through. There's people that are healing. They're finding ways to heal, right? They're utilizing plant-based medicines, right? They're utilizing the plant-based medicines to heal themselves, right? They're actively healing themselves, right? They're actively dealing with their hatred. They're actively dealing with their trauma. They're actively dealing with their quote unquote, with the darkness, with their shadows and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Some people are offsetting the hate that they have on their hearts for their baby mamas and whatnot. Some baby mamas are offsetting the hate that they have for their baby fathers and whatnot. They're doing ayahuasca and throwing it up. You know what I mean? They're getting it out of their guts. People are changing their eating habits and they're showing that they love themselves by what? By eating real foods, right? They're not eating animals that were filled with hate before they were more murdered and slaughtered and whatnot. Because remember, those cows and those pigs and shit like that, there's a level of fear and there's a level of torturing and there's a level of quote unquote, hatred that they're experiencing and whatnot. And it transfers to the people that are eating them. So there's a movement taking place. We just have to pay attention and see it for what it is because we always looking for this silver bullet and whatnot, but shit is happening subtly. You have to be able to peep the subtleties. Yeah, they're giving back Caesars, right? What is theirs? It doesn't matter if it happens one person at a time. People are giving back Caesars what is theirs. Like, you know what? Take your God back. I'm good. I don't need that. I got my ancestors. You know what I mean? I'm going to Africa. I'm going to claim, a tradition and whatnot. It's not this right here. That's love. That's love. You know? That is love. So I appreciate everybody that's on the love frequency, you know, and I don't mean that happy go lucky shit either. Like where you just I love everybody and you know, I appreciate a lot of people that are out here with the self love frequency and responsible love. You know what I'm talking about? Not blind, silly ass love where you just heard the word love and you just running around, not a love thought. You know what I'm saying? Not You're not out here thoughting for love, but you know, you really on some I love myself, and I love I love my people. You know what I mean? I love my people because by loving your people, you'll be able to love others. It has to start at home, right? It has to start with you first. Because you could think that, oh, I love everybody. You might think that that's what it is, but you just scared. You just a vassal. You know what I mean? You just subservient. You think it's love, but you just thoughting. You know what I mean? You just out here thoughting and whatnot because you don't even have the testicular fortitude to be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? I don't love you, motherfuckers, because you don't love me. You know what I'm talking about? So you just out here thotting, you know what I mean? The minute somebody winks at you, oh my goodness, they love me. Nah, it's not what that is. That's not what it is. They know their position and they know your position. You know what I mean? They're aware of it. They're not stupid. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, um, yeah, I'm about to check out for the night. You know what I mean? I got some things that I need to do. You know what I'm talking about? I got some things that I need to take care of and prepare for the weekend. Um, I will be back on Monday to announce the upcoming lecture for this month. I'm still trying to figure everything out. I might do two. You know what I mean? I might do two. I might do two back-to-back lectures, a Saturday and a Sunday one, because a lot of people want to hear metaphysics, but then I got people talking about they want digital economics or economy, shit like that. So we're just weighing it out. Oh, the strong, yeah, not the weak end, the strong end. My bad. Yeah, I'm on my roster shit. The strong end. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta. It's gonna be a lot of big events out there. I won't be there this weekend, but Blue Pill will. I'll see y'all next week. Let me take you to this flyer real quick before I get out of here. This is coming up. We're gonna be celebrating Tupac Shakur's 50th birthday. All right, God will be hosting an event. All right, the 50th celebration for our brother Tupac, 50 Black Roses. This is going to be June 16th, secret location in Atlanta. You could go to 50blackroses.eventbrite. All right. Pay-per-view live stream, Facebook, 50 Black Roses. Phase 1, Lord Ja, Monte Ogboon, Joe Sig, SU the Guru, DJ Tone Fresh, and the Masters of Ceremony, Red and Blue Pill. All right. So that's gonna be fire. All right, that's gonna be flames. That's gonna be fuego. If you're in the A, please pull up. All right, please pull up because we look forward to linking with you. And then, like I said, right after that, we'll be in Kentucky. And then I think we coming back to Atlanta with Brother Rich. He has something that he's gonna be doing, but I'll let him announce that. You know what I mean? I don't want to jump the gun. So yeah. All right. So with that being said, and yeah, we're gonna be doing I think we're gonna be doing something on a Monday too, where we're gonna be bringing in callers, not callers. I'm gonna be sending out the link for people to come on in. You know what I mean? For the people who hit the Cash App, you'll get you'll be able to send you'll get a link. You send your email, I'll send you a link, I'll bring you in. We'll do the Q&A. We might do like a 2-hour Q&A and let people come on and talk to us, ask questions, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll take it from there and whatnot. You know what I mean? We're gonna start using that format because I want to hear from the audience, not just in the chat room. It's beautiful reading your messages, but I think y'all have more to say. You know what I mean? I feel like y'all have more to say, than just typing and whatnot. People need to be heard. You feel me? And I want to give you a platform to voice yourselves, to be heard, to be seen. You know what I mean? and to you know, and to get on this stage and whatnot and do what it do. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I was in the audience and I couldn't wait to get on the stage. And then after I got on the stage, it was like it was almost like a light went off, and I was like, shit, I want to do this more. Like I got past the butterflies in my stomach. Like I felt, you know, it was Nikki Love and Brother Ankh gave me my first shot on Blog Talk Radio in like 2007, I believe. They gave me my first shot. They let me host a segment, a show on their platform. It was called From Super Hay Rules. I think it was Superman, the Super Hay Rules or something. It was a classic. I had Phil Valentine come on with me and everything. That shit was fire. And then after that, Brother Rich had me host. I was a co-host on one of his blog talk shows, and Bobby Hemmett was the guest. You know what I mean? This was in the same year, 2007. And it was like after that, I was ready. You know what I mean? I was like, shit, I want to do this full time. And then a few years later, 2010, we had No to Ledge Radio. So, you know, I might be able to give somebody a shot, you know what I mean, to you know, cut their teeth and whatnot, get their feet wet. And then, you know, that might be the seed that plants for the next, you know what I mean, great master teacher, or the next great platform that arrives and whatnot. So we're gonna exercise that. All right. But chill. That's what it is. All right. I appreciate y'all. Did I see Kwame Brown get at Dr. Watkins? Nah, I heard about it. I didn't see that. Yeah, that should stop. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't know about that, you know. I don't know about that. I don't think Dr. Boyce Watkins personally is out there trying to sabotage that young man. So I'm gonna see what he's saying. I'm gonna check it out. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk to Boyce about that. Dr. Boyce, see how he feels. You know, we'll see what's up. But yeah, let me end it with a song. Bill Bixby. Yeah. All right. So yeah, peace, y'all. I'll catch y'all on Monday.
From snubs to the rockets, for the love of the chopsticks. Ran up from the plug and I pop shit. Faced with immeasurable odds. Some of you niggas found pleasure in God. Measuring rod, they treasure their jobs. Athletic build, moving with purpose. Tapped in the magnetic fields, moving with serpents. Took my brokers a stroker. Al Roker couldn't predict the storms that followed, the porn that followed. Same a tree that formed for Rollo. We made it rain and we burnt muddy. Bentley truck, interior burnt honey. Anyway, I take respect over riches any day. I take neck from your bitches any day. Penny weight, that's a neck full of riches any straight. Shifting through paradigms, the color of Geechee Dan. Drifting through the Carolines, Gullah in the Geechee land. Time will tell. We move around in 33rd parallels, like Coney Island carousels. Fell asleep in Roswell, woke up in Cozumel. Pyramid hopping, chariot shopping. Number one seller, author of conscious fiction. Composition, confidence dripping. Continent drifting, a walking contradiction with a contra addiction. Brooms and mops, Mr. Clean, we conquered the kitchen. Facts in a fiction. Contrary to popular predictions, red pill, popping your prescriptions, stopping your addictions. Yeah, bitch, I'm with the hoes. Black magic, yeah, bitch, I'm with the Zoes. Anything goes, cooking in Brooklyn, cocaine to push. New strains of the kush, we call that Hussein in the bush. We from distant lands, our DNA, different strands, different strains. Same planet, but different planes. Citizen Kane, Rosebud, they wanna get us in chains. Rosewood, the safety, stay off position, chaos position. Never took the day off in kitchens, way off we pitching. These bitches out here fighting for fashion over, crashing rovers, casting over 3 times, pre-crimes, Versace from your heyday, on layaway like Takashi and Treyway, hopping with the AK. The war is on double consciousness, the devil's competence and accomplishments. When rhetoric turns into reason, then predicates turn into heathens. And the wolves in Connecticut is seasoned. Soon after disease would follow. I'm the same nigga that the D's would follow. Marlowe, my fam goon moving trees like Rollo. Before they seized the Gallardo, went from Pablo, hopping out Diablos, designer robes, dark side of the moon like the China probes. Believe it or not, my mind is all Wrigley's. Believe it or not, my mind on the big leagues. Ice Cube with the big 3, vine in the fig tree, man on the big B's, moving back in time like the Frisbees.